Here's something worth saying. Up front, if you bought a cheap zero-turn last spring and it's already whining in reverse, this next part is going to feel like somebody finally taking your side. A homeowner spends $3,000 on a zero-turn. 2 seasons later, the transaxle dies. Sealed unit, no service ports anywhere on the housing. The dealer shrugs. Not a warranty problem. That's the plan. What nobody tells him is that the same $3,000 spent on a different machine 2 aisles over buys a drive you can actually rebuild for 15 years. I went through the spec sheets, the transaxle part numbers, and the recall filings on 15 cheap overlooked zero turns to separate the real bargains from the sealed drive time bombs. Most of these badges are owned by private equity now, and that's exactly where the cost cutting hides, not the paint, the part under the seat. Number 15, the Cub Cadet Ultima ZT 142-inch, sitting on a Home Depot lot with the price tag hanging off the handlebar while buyers walk right past it toward 50 other machines in the same aisle. Street price runs about $3,199. Under the hood is a real 21.5 horsepower Kawasaki FR651V, cast iron liners, the same commercial grade engine family you'll find on machines twice this price. Triple guard corrosion coating on the frame, 3-year warranty, real parts availability through Cub Cadet's network. But both transaxles are Hydro Gear EZT units, sealed at the factory. Cub Cadet's been a Stanley Black & Decker brand since the MTD deal closed in December of 2021. One thing worth clearing up first, that Kawasaki FR651V is a different engine line than the FS and FX series units named in CPS, see recall 24256. Different engine code, different recall, still worth a serial check on any used Kawasaki out of habit. Number 14. The Craftsman Z5 242-inch, on sale at Lowe's for around $2,899. The cheapest real zero-turn on this list, and most buyers assume cheap Craftsman means storage shed quality. A genuine 20-horsepower Kohler 7000 series twin says otherwise. Craftsman's been a Stanley Black & Decker brand since they bought it off Sears back in March of 2017. Sealed Hydro Gear drive here too, and only a 2-year warranty on some trims, thin compared to almost everything else on this list. The engine's the reason to look twice. The drive is the reason not to expect 10 years out of it. Number 13, the Toro Time Cutter 42-inch with a smart speed control lever right under your hand. Usually priced around $3,300 to $3,500, depending on the engine. Toro's still independent, publicly traded, with no private equity in the badge. That's worth something. Step-through frame, 30,000 plus servicing dealers nationwide, 3-year residential warranty with no hour cap. But the Time Cutter models, ranging from 42 to 54 inches, run non-serviceable Hydro Gear units, confirmed straight off Toro's own dealer documentation. Solid machine, weak link right in the middle of it. Number 12. The Snapper 360Z. Manufacturer's suggested retail price around $4,500 for the 42 to 52 inch range. Snapper gets dismissed by buyers who remember the bankruptcy headlines and figure the brand's a ghost. Snapper is a Briggs & Stratton brand, and Briggs filed Chapter 11 back in July of 2020 before KPS Capital Partners picked up the pieces. The base 42-inch runs a sealed EZT drive, which is the trap if you buy on badge alone. But step up to the 52-inch and you get a serviceable Hydro Gear ZT 2800, and the 360Z XT trim jumps all the way to a commercial ZT 3100, riding on a fully welded 12-gauge deck with a foot-operated deck lift. Same badge, 3 different transaxles depending on trim. Read the spec sheet, not just the paint job. Number 11. The Husqvarna Z242F, around $3,899 for the special edition. A lot of buyers skip Husqvarna entirely because they heard the brand pulled back from consumer gas equipment and assume that means abandonment. Kawasaki FR Series V Twin, a fabricated clear-cut deck with real airflow baffles built into the shroud, which is rare at this price. Husqvarna pulled out of low-margin consumer gas back in 2018 and shut their Nashville, Arkansas plant in July of 2023. So, confirm your local dealer's parts pipeline before you buy. Some Z200 series trims run the serviceable ZT 2800, others don't. Check the model number before you sign anything. And while we're talking trims, look at John Deere's own lineup side by side. The Z325E runs a sealed tough torque drive, effectively closed for good once it fails. Step up to the Z330M, and Deere upgrades to heavy-duty hydro gear hydrostatics, plus a jump to genuine 10-gauge steel with a reinforcement bar welded around the entire perimeter. Same green badge, same dealer lot, completely different machine underneath the seat. 3 separate brands here, and the same lesson every time. The model number decides what you're actually buying, not the name stitched on the seat. Number 10. The Ariens Icon XD 42-inch, with an 11-gauge fabricated deck and weld seams visible along every edge. It gets walked past constantly because it's sold at Lowe's, and a Lowe's price tag makes people assume disposable. Runs about $2,999 to $3,399. Same Kawasaki FR engine family as machines $1,000 more. And that 11-gauge fabricated 3-blade deck rides on a fully welded one-piece tubular chassis, which almost nobody offers at this price point. Ariens Company, out of Brillion, Wisconsin, is still family-owned, no private equity anywhere in the chain, going back generations. Sealed EZT drive is the one knock against it. Everything else here punches above its price, and that's exactly why it's easy to underestimate on a showroom floor. Number 9. And if you only remember one mower from this entire list, make it this one. The Gravely ZT XL 42-inch, parked right next to the Ariens family shop sign in Brillion, Wisconsin, runs $4,149 to $5,499, depending on your dealer. That sounds like a lot next to the big box names here. It's not. Gravely is built by Ariens Company, family-owned, no private equity, no spreadsheet in Wisconsin telling engineers what to cut. Under the hood, a real 21.5 horsepower Kawasaki FR651V commercial cast iron construction. The deck is an 11-gauge fabricated X-Factor deck, 4.5 inches deep, welded, not stamped. And the transaxles are Hydro Gear ZT 2800 units, fully serviceable, integrated service ports right on the reservoirs, built to be opened, not thrown away. That's the whole argument in one sentence. A fabricated commercial deck and a genuinely serviceable drive at a price that undercuts most of the sealed drive competition once you're honest about what you're actually buying. This is the machine to tell a retired guy on 6 acres to go look at first, before he ever walks past it toward the shinier badge up front. 2 of the names coming up next are ones I used to write off completely, and I was wrong about both. Number 8. The Hustler Raptor XD. Flip up the seat pan on this one, and the whole floor panel comes right off for service access. The base Raptor X runs about $3,900 to $4,449 and uses a sealed EZT drive. Skip it. But step up to the Raptor XD, and Hustler explicitly markets a serviceable Hydro Gear transaxle right there on the spec sheet. A real upgrade over the base trim, not just a marketing word. Hustler is owned by Stanley Black and Decker since 2021, same as Cub Cadet and Craftsman. But keeping a serviceable drive on the XD trim while the cheap trim got the sealed unit seemed like a small line item at the time. It wasn't. Fabricated 10-gauge deck, welded tubular frame, flex forks up front for cushioning over rough ground, and a removable floor pan built for a homeowner to actually get in there and service it himself. Number 7. The Zark Radius E-Series starts around $4,899 for a 48-inch. Buyers see the Zark name and assume it's commercial-only pricing built for landscape crews. It's actually the cheapest door into Zark's whole ecosystem. Kawasaki FR691V, or Zark's own 726 cubic centimeter commercial twin, dual Hydro Gear Z T2800 units with real charge pumps and replaceable filters, and a fully welded ultra-cut deck with maintenance-free spindles. Zark's a Toro division, still independent, no private equity anywhere in the chain. Number 6. The Toro Titan Max 60-inch, with a bullnose reinforced front edge you could run your hand along. Frequently discounted at Lowe's, Home Depot, and Tractor Supply. which is exactly why buyers assume it's a residential toy sitting next to the time cutters. It's not. A 26 horsepower Kohler 7000 series engine, a 10 gauge grade 50 iron forged fabricated deck, 1-inch commercial spindles, and dual hydro gear ZT3100 transaxles. A genuine commercial drivetrain wearing a big box price tag. 60 inches is a lot of mower for a small yard, so size it to your acreage, not your ego. Number 5. The Bad Boy MZ Magnum. A 7-gauge welded steel deck, thick enough you could see the cross-section if you cut it. Typically $4,500 to $5,200. Built in Batesville, Arkansas, the Sterling Group made a private equity investment back in December of 2019, and TorqueWest Partners, with CPP Investments, bought the company outright in November of 2023, twice in 4 years. That's the kind of ownership churn that makes accountants cry and buyers nervous. But the engineering hasn't slipped. That 7-gauge welded steel deck is the heaviest in its class, riding on a serviceable hydro gear ZT2200 with a flip-up floorboard for easy access underneath. Number 4. The Bad Boy ZT Elite, with independent front suspension forks flexing over rough ground. Bad Boy's best-selling model for close to a decade, running around $6,049. Same TorqueWest and CPP ownership as the MZ Magnum. It steps up to a full commercial hydro gear ZT 3100 drivetrain and a 7-gauge all-welded deck with reinforced edges. And here's a correction to a rumor going around the comment sections. This one runs the Kawasaki FR730V, not the FX730V named in Recall 24-256. Similar number, completely different engine. Number 3. The Ferris ISX800, topping the line around $9,000 for a 60-inch with a 27 horsepower Briggs CXY engine. Ferris is a Briggs & Stratton brand with the same KPS ownership as Snapper. What makes it worth a look is Ferris's patented suspension system, genuinely unique at this price, plus commercial hydro gear ZT3100 and ZT3400 transaxles, depending on trim. Number 2, the Spartan RZ HD, running $6,000 to $8,000, depending on trim. Built in Batesville, Arkansas, owned by Toro since January of 2022. A 7-gauge fabricated XTF deck, commercial Parker HTE transaxles rated for a 1,000-hour oil interval. One thing to clear up. The November 2025 CPSC recall 26103 covers the SRTXD and KGZXD models, a pricier tier. It does not touch the RZHD. Still, run any Spartan serial before you buy used. Look back over this list, and the pattern holds every single time. The badge tells you almost nothing. The private equity firm behind it tells you a little more, but even a private equity brand can still ship a serviceable drive if the engineers won that argument. The transaxle part number, sealed or serviceable, that's the one specification that actually predicts whether you're mowing the same machine a decade from now. Cheap doesn't mean disposable. It only means disposable when somebody decided the drive under the seat wasn't worth opening back up. Hit subscribe. Next week, I'm cracking open a sealed K46.